Thank you all for being here. We appreciate your interest in the foundation. It's a big night for a lot of the families. We've got 60 scholarships being awarded. 30-something, I think, were able to be here. And it's the biggest event we've ever had. There's over 1,000 people here tonight. And we've raised over $2 million in one night. And I'm staggered at that amount of interest. And I'm sure it has a lot to do with Nick being here. But I do think that a lot of people believe in what we're doing and helping these kids. I think it's important for people to understand this foundation is different than a lot of foundations. We don't have one single employee. We don't have one building. We don't have one automobile. All of the expenses for this foundation are paid just for tonight. Only what it costs to put this event on. The rest of the money goes to the children. So you can say 98% of what you're giving goes to the children. And I think that's a good thing. And I'm honored to have my friend Nick Saban here. He's been a friend of mine since he came to Alabama in 2007. And we have enjoyed a very cordial, good relationship. I admire him greatly. If he's not the greatest football coach, he's one of the greatest. And what he's accomplished, I doubt we will ever see replicated. So, Nick, thank you for coming.
Well, I'm glad to be here. I think this is a great cause. I think Jimmy's foundation has sent over 700 kids, if I'm not mistaken, with scholarships to have an opportunity, and the whole idea that we help someone else, we help other people. Jimmy's always supported our foundation, Nick's kids, because that's the same thing we try to do. We try to create opportunities to, help other people, and obviously with what he's been able to do here, the operation and as well as the foundation that he has been instrumental in a lot of people changing their lives, and I think that's something that we all should be committed to. And he and I have had a great relationship because he's all about people. I'm all about people. It's not all just about Auburn, and it's not just about Alabama. It's just about helping people, and I think that's why we're both here tonight.
Jimmy, AP Stedham of AP and Kelly, as we see at syndicated radio, I think the people would like to hear from you. Who is eligible for the scholarships from the horse's mouth?
The kids in the middle. It's not the very, very poor kids, because every foundation in the federal government through Pell Grants supports the very, very poor. And it's not the rich kids, they don't need any help. But the children from families who have lost a parent or have a parent that's critically ill, or they have more siblings than they can support, those are the ones we try to identify. If you go to any college campus, and go in a restaurant, you will find students working, or in department stores, or in grocery stores. They're working to try to stay in college. And we want to try to help the kids in the middle, the people that kind of get forgotten.
Coach, as you embark on this new media venture, is there something that you would like to express to the audience that may be different than you've seen in the past?
Not really. I just hope that there's something that I can do that makes it more interesting, educational, whatever it might be, that, fans, creates fan interest. Look, college athletics in general have created a lot of opportunities for a lot of people, create a lot of values that they learn that help them be more successful in life. Jimmy and I were talking in the back room before we came in here. Our parents and our coaches, both of us, had the greatest impact and influence on our lives and us having a chance to be successful and creating now opportunities for others. So to be able to continue to do that and have a voice in doing that, even though it's not going to be from the sidelines, probably is something that I'm really kind of looking forward to.
One more, if I may. Coach, when you were growing up, is there any broadcasters or members of the media that you admired and maybe you enjoyed watching and listening to through the years?
Well, where I grew up, there was only one. His name was John Veazey. And he was the sports editor of the Fairmont Times. It's the only paper I ever saw. It's the only sports person I ever knew about. he did the columns, he did everything. So, you know, I mean, he wins by default.
Nick, there's been a lot of suggestions about NIL fixes, of what college football needs to see over the next few years. Bill, you had suggested getting players contracted on a contract, so if they break it, obviously there are stipulations there. What are some of the ones that you tend to kind of lean toward right now? Do you agree with maybe players need to be on
Well, you know,
contracts?
this is really all about the kids here tonight that are going to get awarded scholarships. But look, the number one thing we need to do in college football is the first thing you got to do is address all the lawsuits, because the lawsuits may break the NCAA and it may break college football. All right, so that should be the first order of business. And the second thing is to try to create a system that continues to allow all people who have had the opportunity to participate in college athletics, that's male and female, Title IX. And look, I'm all for the players sharing in the wealth of what's happening in college football. But it has to be a system that's going to keep everybody having an opportunity, revenue sports as well as non-revenue sports, and hopefully something that financially the universities can continue to be able to operate because it works financially for the system.
Good evening, gentlemen. Todd Stacy with Alabama Public Television. We are in a political season. Very soon we'll be in a football season with all the contentiousness that comes with both. Are nights like tonight and events and charities like this maybe a reminder to people about what's most important?
I would hope so.
This is my second charity event of the day. So I did one in Nashville and I came here today. So it's certainly important to me. And both are trying to help young people have a better opportunity to be more successful in life. So we're trying to create those opportunities for those who may not have the opportunity. And I think the more people that do that, the better our country's going to be, the better our state's going to be, better our society's going to be. So I think it's something that everybody should focus on.
Coach, I just got done talking with Coach Freeze about just kind of the importance of taking this downtime to spend time with his family and his daughters. Now you've been a couple months removed now. Kind of if you had advice for a coach like himself, or a young assistant coach, in terms of prioritizing that and finding a way to do that in a really intense calendar, what kind of advice would you have for prioritizing those things?
Well, I need to ask you a question. Did he tell you how much money he lost when we played golf in Florida?
No, I'd like to know.
He didn't tell? He
No.
didn't tell you? No, I think that regardless of the circumstances in college athletics right now, every coach has to be able to adapt. I mean, one of the things that we're able to do through the years was, we even won when we had name, image, and likeness. But we had to adapt. We could not do things the same that we always did. And I would say that every coach should be looking forward, not backward, in terms of, well, we've always done it this way. Well, you can't do it that way anymore. So being adaptable to the circumstance that you're in, so that you can have a chance to functionally be successful with the competition who may be adapting, is probably the most important thing.
Jimmy, you've done a great job in the 20-plus years. This is the 24th annual charity golf tournament event. Looking forward, what are some of the plans you have? And you went from 1 to 60.
Well, as Coach said, we now have put 700 kids into college. I said when we gave that first one away that first night in 2001, I hope I can be around when we give out the 1,000 scholarship. I never had any idea that I would be around for that, but now it seems like that's a realistic goal, and so hopefully I might be around for the 2,000 scholarship. But it is something that I think resonates with people. Obviously, for some of you that have been here before, when you see that Dios tonight, there are coaches and players that have never missed. Johnny Majors never missed one of these events from the time it started till he passed away. Too Tall Jones, Bobby Crimmins, they're on and on, Rob Spivey. And so I think that resonates with everybody that this is something worthwhile. As Coach said, we're trying to help young people have a chance that will never get a chance. How can you not be for that?
One last question.
Jimmy, I just wanted to ask you kind of, as Coach Freeze enters year 2, and have you seen, I guess, the current state of the program, and how satisfied are you with what you see?
Well, as Coach Saban said, we're here tonight to talk about the kids and this program, but I really like Hugh. I think he's a good guy, a good person, and a good coach, and I think it's obvious to anybody that follows football that his teams were better than the ones that were there before him. And I don't have any reason to think that he will not continue to work hard and improve. I'm very happy with him.
Coach Davis Baker here with WSFA Montgomery. You've been around plenty of 18-year-old freshmen before. What advice would you give to these kids that are going to get these scholarships to be successful as they reach campus?
Well, I think number one is they've got to take advantage of the opportunity. And I think being accountable and accountability to do the things that you need to do to be successful and have the discipline to make the choices and decisions that are going to help you be successful. You know, there's a lot of distractions that you can have as a college student, and you've got to stay focused enough to be able to keep the main thing, and make sure that you do graduate so you can take advantage of the opportunity.